fear of failure. It's something that stops 92% of people from pursuing their dreams. But what if everything we believe about failure is completely backwards?
That's such an interesting perspective, especially since research shows most people aren't actually afraid of failing. They're afraid of public judgment.
You know what's fascinating? Studies have found that successful entrepreneurs fail an average of 3.8 times before hitting their big break. I was just talking to someone who's been sitting on $1 million business idea for 3 years because of this fear.
Hmm, that reminds me of how our brains are actually wired to remember negative experiences more strongly than positive ones. It's called negativity bias.
Well, here's what's really interesting. I know this top tier advertising professional who's absolutely brilliant at his craft. Want to know his secret obsession?
Oh, do tell.
He spends hours writing detailed Google reviews of every business he visits. But here's the irony, he won't start his own business because he's terrified of getting negative reviews himself.
That's such a powerful example of how we often fear what we ourselves do to others. You know, psychology calls this projection.
And here's what really blows my mind about failure: successful people actually fail more frequently than unsuccessful ones. Like, did you know Walt Disney was fired from a newspaper for lacking creativity and went bankrupt before creating Mickey Mouse?
So, what you're saying is that failure is actually a prerequisite for success, not an obstacle to it.
Exactly. Think of it like building muscle. You can't get stronger without first breaking down the muscle fibers. Studies show that exposure to small failures actually increases overall resilience and problem solving abilities by 23%.
Well, that certainly puts things in perspective. It's like what Angela Duckworth found in her research on grit: perseverance matters more than natural talent.
Yeah, and here's something wild. Research shows that 85% of people's worries never actually come true. We're literally wasting mental energy on imaginary disasters instead of channeling it into potential success.
That makes me think about how many opportunities people miss because they're too focused on what could go wrong instead of what could go right.
Let me tell you about Tony. This guy wanted to get into digital marketing, but got completely paralyzed by perfectionism. He was so caught up in the details that he missed the bigger picture.
And what happened with him?
Well, once he shifted his focus from avoiding failure to seeking small wins, his whole life transformed. In just 18 months, he went from zero clients to managing a 7 figure portfolio. Now he's taking family vacations, paid for his son's college, and completely turned his life around.
You know, that reminds me of research showing that people who focus on progress over perfection are 64% more likely to achieve their goals.
And here's something my mentor taught me about visualization. Olympic athletes who mentally rehearse their performances show nearly the same muscle activation patterns as when they physically practice. It's all about training your brain to recognize and create opportunities.
That's fascinating. It's like we have this built in success simulator we're not using.
You know what question I love asking people who are stuck? Instead of what if I fail, I ask them, why not you? Because statistically speaking, someone reading this right now will create $1 million business in the next 5 years. That
That's such a powerful reframe. It's like turning our fears into fuel for success.
Remember this: fear often stands for false evidence appearing real. Studies show that 88% of the time, our worst case scenarios never materialize. Your reality becomes a product of your most dominant thoughts and actions.
So essentially, we're often our own biggest obstacle to success.
Exactly. And if you're thinking about this right now, if you're worried about failing at something, remember that desire you feel to create or achieve something. Research shows it's actually your brain recognizing an opportunity you're uniquely positioned to pursue. The only real failure is never trying at all.